We're here in Raleigh and we have a project that we just started. We're gonna show you guys, they're actually demoing in there. We haven't walked in. We can hear them demoing though. We're gonna show you guys today like how we go about putting together a rehab budget. So let's go check it out. The best way to check out what a property needs as far as renovations go is to walk it with your contractor. But if they're not available, because if you're looking at a lot of deals, they can't go out to every single deal. Personally, I'm not a construction expert, but I understand the big ticket items, right? So like roofing, floor, as far as like joist, foundation, take a look at the crawl space. For the most part, you can catch things, but there's always surprises. So having contingency in your budget is very important. So coming in, this is, I guess the official name is a foyer, but really we're just walking into like the hallway, which takes you upstairs to the left. You go into the living room to the right, and then straight you go into the dining room with a little half bath here to the left. So let's take a look here in the living room and kind of show you guys what we're gonna be doing here. So walking in, there's this big closet here. Sorry, it's pretty loud. Walking in, there's a big closet to your right. We're probably going to knock it all down. And then here, there was a wall. All of this was a wall dividing the kitchen with the living room. We're now going to knock that all down so that we can have a big open living area, but also looking into the kitchen so that you can see the kitchen when you walk in. So factors to consider, again, big ticket items: roof, foundation, joist, subfloor. If you're gonna do any structural work, HVAC, ducts. So the big ticket items, because those are the most expensive things. Now, flooring and stuff like, yes, you can spend money on it, but it's not as big of a ticket. You know, you have to decide whether you want to change cabinets, change vanities, flooring, things of that nature. More than likely you're going to be, but those are the things to keep in mind. Throughout the house, we're going to be putting in new flooring, but in this room specifically, again, we're going to be opening up this. We're going to open up this wall here, and in the kitchen, we're putting it in this corner so that when you walk in the kitchen, and there's a big island right here in this space. So that way, that's like one of the first things you see walking in. So when you're trying to accurately predict or accurately get an accurate number as far as budget and or labor for a project, starting off, I would definitely recommend walking it with a contractor. But after using that contractor several times, you'll kind of get a feel for what you're going to be spending in labor and materials for any project. So again, personally, I walk it so I have an understanding of what we're going to spend. But if you're doing this for the first time, you're going to want a contractor to walk it with you and probably get several different bids.
What are we hearing right now? Just eye contact.
I don't know. I haven't been upstairs, so I don't know what that is. I know that they're doing demo, so they're probably cutting something, but I don't know. We'll find out in a little bit. I told them to save these appliances. So this was the kitchen. It was. What we're going to do is move the entire kitchen over into that room, into that corner. So we're knocking this wall down along with this wall here. We're gonna put an island here, and then the kitchen will be in that corner with the appliances and everything. So with the cosmetic flips, you're usually going to spend significantly less than a structural. You know, if you have any structural damage or structural work that you're gonna be doing, meaning moving any walls, repairing any of the footers, repairing any of the joists, things like that. You're going to spend significantly less if you're focusing just on the inside of the house. Cosmetics, so paint, carpet, flooring, cabinets, vanities, things like that. So we are currently in the laundry room. I think there's lights in here. We're currently in the laundry room, guys. Do you guys think we're going to keep this? What is this? What do you call this?
Wash machine?
Washer machine. Sorry, I blanked out. We're currently in the laundry room. In here, we're not going to do much, right? So we're not obviously going to put in new units. We're just going to update, maybe update the connects, laundry connects, and then paint everything. We'll probably keep these cabinets, honestly, just paint everything. Change the light fixture, throw down some cool little tile, and we'll be done. One, there's always something that comes up. So you want to make sure you have a contingency. Whether that's 5,000, obviously the more the better, but you know, it's understandable if you can't have like 10, 20,000, because then when you're underwriting, the deal might not work. But at least 5,000, because worst case, you eat all of your contingency and then eat a little bit into your profit if you end up 10,000 over, for example, but you want to make sure you have a contingency fund. Let's go check out the sunroom. Whoa, why is it so hot in here? Whoa, they turned this thing on, bro? Woo! It's hot in here. Currently in the sunroom, catching some sun in the sunroom with Kerwin in my background when he's not supposed to be in my background. But anyways, when it comes to negotiating, I tried my best to get the estimate from the contractor first, right? So you have them walk it, have them give you an estimate. They're always going to give you obviously their highest price. From that price, you can then negotiate them down. Usually contractors are trying to make 10 to 20%. 10 on the very low end and then 20 on like the average, I guess, end. So they have wiggle room. That it depends on whether or not they're willing to come down. So if they have a lot of projects going, they're probably not going to try to come down. If they don't necessarily have a lot of projects or are willing to work with you, you can have them come down a little bit. So that's kind of what I would do as far as negotiating price. Just telling them, hey, you know, I'm trying to do more houses, so if you work with me, I can give you more and we can do more in the long run. This is the sunroom and it is counted in square footage. I was originally thinking that we just change the fan, paint it probably, and then change the carpet to flooring. But this isn't the best, like it doesn't have the best insulation and you can hear cars and stuff. So I haven't decided fully, but I think we might have to sheetrock this and then open it up here instead of it being a sliding door there. Keep the sliding door there, then continue the wood, the LVP into here so that it's actually a part of the house. Where'd I pick up this stick? Damn, we might have to change this door. The deck. So guys, when it comes to creating like a budget, right, for renovations, location, ow, I just gave myself a splinter. Location is very important due to the fact that that is what dictates your ARV, and your ARV is dictated by comps. You have to take a look at what comps are doing, right? So if they're going in doing very minimal like painting, I personally advise doing a little bit better than the comps so that you can guarantee your property selling because it's nicer than what has sold. But if you're in a higher end area, that means that you want to do higher end stuff. And if you're in the lower end area, then it's a little bit lower end stuff, if that makes sense. So that goes into the rehab budget overall because higher end stuff costs a little bit more. And when you're putting together, you have to take that into account at the beginning when you're putting together your rehab budget. We're just going to paint this deck. The color I have not decided yet, but probably black or something, just something simple.
What about the yard?
The yard, well, this looked a lot better than or when we were buying it and under contract. And now there's a lot of leaves, so there's going to be a lot of yard work, but that is okay because we can handle it. There's a lot of things that you can do really when it comes to trying to maximize ROI on the renovation. Obviously, if you're doing the whole house, like new cabinets, new flooring, new paint, vanities, etc., all of that, obviously, like that's gonna help. But there are certain things like opening up walls and like making it more open. I think people really like that, and it's like the newer trend, so to say. So I think that's another thing you guys can do, trying to maximize the budget to increase the amount that you can get on the back end. We're gonna be taking this wall out, I think, because this right here looks kind of, this one right here looks like it's barren. Actually, I mean, these you can see they're not taking a lot of weight.
Be careful.
But this one right here is definitely holding some weight here. So what we want to do is pretty much take this whole, was a, as you guys can see, it was a closet. We want to take this whole closet out and open all of this up. Again, I know I stress this a lot, but the big ticket items, we want to make sure that we check those. So roofing, HVAC, structural, like any foundation, we usually check it, but there has been instances like our last Durham flip where the roof looked fine, but it was actually leaking and we had to replace it. Well, we didn't have to, we could have patched it, but it wouldn't have looked as good. So we decided to just go ahead and replace it. And now it looks a lot better. But we obviously spent like $7,000 to do that. So we always want to make sure that we check those items. So whenever you're doing renovations, if the market were to turn, you can always take some of the stuff in the budget and kind of tone it down. So for example, of course, depending on your comps, but for example, if you're going to do a little bit higher end of a finish than your comps, you can then tone it down. So if instead of doing quartz countertop, you can go to granite, or instead of doing granite, maybe faux. Make it spend a little bit less, and that way you have a little bit more buffer on the back end because you didn't spend as much on the rehab. But if the market changes while you're rehabbing, usually it doesn't change quickly. You might make as less usually, but there will still hopefully be enough profit for you to come out at least breaking even. Dang, that's gonna be a big bathroom. As you guys can see, we took out the tub. We're gonna put in a new tub here, and then tile shower or a ceramic tile on the wall, and then obviously new vanity, new light fixtures, new mirror, and it's gonna look good. New flooring. We're gonna put down some tile on the floor as well. But dang, I'm noticing like, wow, this is a big bathroom. We're gonna put some flooring down on the stairs, obviously. Some LVP. We're not doing anything in here besides flooring, paint, light fixture. All of these doors were pretty much brand new, so we're just changing the hardware on them. And this house, I mean, the house was in pretty good, like we haven't even touched the floors, and look at the floors, they're nice. Honestly, yeah. So usually people use the 70% of ARV minus the repairs. We actually use a calculator just so we can know exactly what our profit's gonna be, not percentage wise, but dollar wise. But the way that the rehab budget factors into that is because you want to know where you can buy at, right? So for the formula, specifically speaking, the 70% minus the repairs, you want to make sure you're factoring in your repairs pretty accurately so you're buying it at a good price. Just flooring and paint, and then probably change the light fixtures. We're taking off all the popcorn ceiling in all of the house. We're upstairs now, obviously. There's 3 bedrooms in here. This is the second bedroom. So bedroom, and then we're gonna see the master after this. So the way we do these flips is we're taking out hard money loans, and they usually provide a certain amount to buy the property, but then also allocate a certain amount to then rehab the property. So you're putting a down payment down usually at closing, and then throughout the process, you have to front the rehab, meaning you have to either pay someone to do it or just have them do it for free, whatever. You basically have to have the work done. So let's say I go in, I do all the demo. I have that in my rehab budget with the lender, and then I go to the lender and say, hey, I'm done with my rehab budget or my demo. Can I pull out X amount, which I had already put in the budget with them. So whatever dollar amount you put with them. Hopefully that makes sense, but basically the lender is also helping fund the rehab as well on these projects. So in this room, we're really just paint and flooring. Hardware on the doors, light fixture, very simple. I mean, the rooms we're not doing much. It's really the bathroom, kitchen. It's really a lot downstairs, honestly, but rooms, flooring, paint, and then obviously in the master, the bathroom, which we'll go check out now. So, welcome to the master bedroom. So in here, as far as the room itself, we're just gonna put down flooring, light fixture, and then paint. But the master bedroom does have a bathroom that is a little tight. I think I discussed opening it up a little bit, but if we do, it'll be probably about yay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open it up to here, move this door over a little bit, and then have like a, what are those doors?
Double door?
Yeah. We're gonna frame this part, all of this here, and we're gonna put the entrance to the bathroom right here with a door that'll open this way, right? So it'll open probably this way. Or, no, probably this way. I don't know, we'll figure it out. That way we can get more space in this bathroom. We'll put the vanity, we'll leave the shower here where it's at. We'll put the vanity on this wall here, because this will be covered up. It'll be more right here, the vanity. And then the toilet, we'll try to move it over just a little bit, and then we'll just have a lot more space in this bathroom. I think people will like that. So as far as tracking expenses go, or like just staying on top of the budget. Sorry, I'm like too big for this doorway, you know. We usually have a budget, and we usually get a bid from our contractor. We try to stay as close to that as possible, right? So we've already included everything we wanted to do. Obviously things come up, which adds to that, but usually we're paying our contractor 10,000 or 30% upfront, 30% after half of the work is done, and then the final percentage when he's complete. So usually that's how the payment goes. But obviously if things come up, then they may need a little bit more money, and the budget will also increase along the way. So that's kind of how we're tracking. I tend to try to buy the vanities and the appliances. So I'll just obviously swipe that on our business credit card, and then deduct that from the total amount that we end up paying the contractor, since it's usually allocated to the budget. But I like picking those things. I'm not gonna say that the rehab budget has a very, very big impact on timeline, but I will say that it does have a decent, small impact on timeline, due to the fact that I've had contractors tell me, hey, you know, I can get this done cheap, but the guys might be a little bit slower, or I can get this done, you know, faster potentially, but the guys, you know, since they're experts, they've been doing whatever, right? It's gonna cost a little bit more. So depending on what your rehab budget allows for, it could speed or slow things down. Also, as far as cash on hand, so not necessarily just specifically the rehab, but cash on hand, since you're taking out a loan on this and waiting for them to pay you or reimburse you back in a draw, usually you would want to make sure you have enough capital or cash so that you are not waiting for the lender to reimburse you. So you can pay the contractor to just go ahead and do the work, and you'll sell them the work, and then also continue doing the work, so there's no delay due to capital. So at the end of the day, you find out whether your rehab budget was successful, if you like the project, how it looks, 2, if you stuck close to or under the budget that you were planning, and 3, whether or not you sold the property for what you were actually looking to sell it for. So that is gonna wrap us up for today, guys. If you had any questions in regards to estimating a rehab budget, or any questions about rehab budget or flipping or whatever it may be, please throw it down in the comment section below. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a good one. Peace.